A sweet start. I was once a poor man with nothing in my hands. No money, no job, no future. I lived in a small broken room with my wife. The walls were old and full of cracks. The roof had holes, and rain came in at night. We had no heater, and winters were very cold. Sometimes we had no food at all. We ate dry bread and drank water. My wife never complained. She smiled and said, "We will be okay." I didn't understand how she could smile. Life was hard, but she stayed strong. She gave me hope when I had none. One day I told her, "You should leave me. You can have a better life." She looked at me with tears in her eyes. "No," she said, "I want a better life with you." I was surprised by her words. She had nothing, but she still chose me. That day, I felt her love deeply. The next morning, she woke up early. She went to the kitchen with a small bag of flour. We had a little sugar and oil. She said, "I want to make something sweet." I watched her mix the ingredients. She used her hands and a big spoon. The smell of sugar filled the room. She made small cookies with love. We had no oven, so she used a pan over the fire. The cookies were golden and warm. The smell made us happy. We tasted one cookie. It was sweet and soft. She looked at me and smiled again. "Let's sell them," she said. We took the cookies in a small box. We walked to the street corner. She stood there with hope in her eyes. People walked by and looked at us. Some smiled, some stopped. She said kindly, "Please try one." After a while, people started to buy. We sold every cookie that day. The next day, we woke up early again. My wife made more cookies with the same love. She used all the flour we had left. We packed them in a small paper bag. I cleaned the table and helped her mix the sugar. We laughed while working. It felt like a new beginning. We went to the same street corner. This time, people came faster. One man said, "These are the best cookies I've had." Another woman said, "Do you have more?" We sold out again. My wife's eyes were full of light. I hadn't seen her this happy in years. With the money we made, we bought more flour, sugar, and oil. It wasn't much, but it was enough. We worked together every day. I helped shape the cookies while she baked them. We became a team. For the first time, I felt proud of myself. Soon, people began to wait for us. They came early and smiled when they saw our box. A man asked, "Do you take orders?" We looked at each other, surprised. "And yes," my wife said. She wrote his name on a piece of paper and promised fresh cookies the next day. We saved every coin we made. We didn't buy new clothes. We didn't go out. Every bit of money went into our cookies. Our room was still old, but it felt warm now. It smelled like sugar and hope. I didn't care about the broken walls anymore. One evening I told her, "Oh, you were right. We can build our future together." She looked at me with love. "I never doubted it," she said. Her hands were tired, but her heart was full. I kissed her hands and thanked her. She saved us with love and cookies. Weeks passed. Our cookies became popular in the neighborhood. People came from other streets to try them. Some brought their friends, others brought their children. Every evening we sold all the cookies. We smiled more. Life was still hard, but we had hope. One customer said, "You should open a bakery." My wife looked at me with wide eyes. A bakery? It felt like a dream. "I don't have enough money," I said, but the idea stayed in our minds. At night we talked about it. We dreamed together like children. We worked harder. We added cakes and small sweet breads. My wife learned new recipes from old books. I helped with everything. I learned how to knead dough. I cleaned the kitchen. I carried the boxes. We saved more money each week. Slowly the dream grew. One day a man came to us. He had a kind face and nice clothes. "And I see people love your cookies," he said, "and I have a small shop for rent." He showed us a place nearby. It was small and old, but it had an oven and a counter. We looked at each other and smiled. We used all our savings and rented the shop. We cleaned it for days. We painted the walls and washed the windows. My wife made a small sign, "A Sweet Hope Bakery." We opened the doors with shaking hands, but people came. They came with joy. And they bought. Our bakery was real. It was small, but it was ours. People kept coming. We didn't have much, but we had each other. And now we had a place full of love, sugar, and dreams. My heart felt full. I looked at her and thought, "And this is just the beginning." Each morning we woke up early. My wife made the batter, and I turned on the oven. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. People waited outside before we even opened. Children laughed. Old people smiled. We knew their names. They knew ours. It felt like family. We made new sweets each week. My wife loved to try new ideas. I made coffee and talked to the customers. Some people came just to sit and talk. "You two give us more than sweets," they said. "You give us warmth." I never thought I could feel so proud. One evening I sat beside her. The shop was quiet. She was tired, but she smiled. "Do you remember when we had nothing?" I asked. She nodded. "Now look at us," I said. "We built this." She held my hand. Her eyes were soft. "We built it together," she whispered. "Life was not easy. We worked every day, even Sundays. Sometimes we argued. Sometimes we cried. But we never gave up. When one was tired, the other gave strength. When one fell, the other helped up. That is love. Not words, just staying, just trying." Years passed. Our bakery became famous in the town. We hired 2 young helpers. They were like our children. We taught them how to bake and how to smile. People sent us letters. One said, "And your bakery gave me hope when I had none." That letter made us cry. I often thought about what I told her long ago. "You should leave me." But she didn't. She stayed. She loved me when I had nothing. She loved me when I was weak. And now everything we have is because of her heart. She didn't wait for a better life. She made it. The bakery was not just a shop. It was a place full of memories. Every day people came in and smiled. They loved her cookies and my warm tea. We worked side by side, and the bakery grew. It became a happy place for us and for others. We saved money little by little. We fixed our home and bought a small car. Life was still hard, but we were happy. People often asked us, "How did you do it?" We always said the same thing, with love and hard work. One day she got sick. I was scared. But I stayed strong. I baked the cookies, and she watched from her chair. She smiled and said, "Oh, you can bake alone." I laughed and said, "Only because you taught me." Years passed, and our bakery became very famous. People came from many places to taste our cakes. We were not rich, but we had enough. I had learned that love was the key to everything. Without love, we would not have made it this far. One day, I looked at her and said, "I did it. We are happy now." She smiled and nodded. Her eyes were full of love. "And I always knew we could do it," she said. In the end, I understood something very important. Love is not about what you have, but who you are with. And I was lucky to have her by my side all these years.